Good evening, YouTube. What's going on? Another video. Grabbed a couple of cars tonight, so we're going to take a look at these in just a moment. But first, we are going to crack open the brand new Tokyo Torque. I don't have the whole set quite yet, but I do have a couple that we're going to take a look at. Starting with this 2001 Nissan Skyline Gtr R34 M-Spec. Look how gorgeous this thing is. You know what? That looks an awful lot like a Kyosho. Wait a minute. That is a Kyosho. Here is the Greenlight. Still a very beautiful car. The Kyosho is definitely quite a bit nicer. However, I need the street sweeper to come by. These are still very, very, very nice. Love the color on this thing. It appears to have a nice stance. It's not perfect, but it's not as bad as the R35. You can see your lensed headlight detail. There's some really nice detail. There you got the GTR logo on the front license plate. Now, one thing that I noticed, well, well, you know, that looks really good. That doesn't bother me at all there. Part of the base is plastic. There's one thing about this car that really bums me out. I'm happy with the stance because honestly I was a little bit worried about how the stance would be, but I think the stance is pretty good. It's not perfect, but it is definitely better than the GTR. But here's the big disappointment for me. See if you know what I'm talking about there. Well, here. Now you'll know what I'm talking about. There's your side-by-side. Both are very, very nice. $6 car, $20 car. Maybe even this might be a $25 car at this point. I don't know. The wheels are definitely a lot nicer on the Kyosho. The stance is definitely better. The placement of the headlights is better. The side view mirrors are quite a bit better. But all in all, I'm very happy with the Greenlight. The wheels are kind of disappointing because the way that they're painted, I don't know. I wish they could have found a way to black out the space behind the spokes. I think that would have looked much better. But all in all, I'm very, very pleased with the Greenlight. And there's the plastic part of the base there. It's a very, very sharp looking little car. I'll put it to you like this. It's a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it... I knew it would be nice. I knew it wouldn't be as nice as the Kyosho. But I didn't think it would be as nice as it is. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give Greenlight a solid 7. And maybe even an 8. It's really, really nice. So let's take a look at this one from the same release. This is the 2002 GTR 34. And this actually, believe it or not, is a different tooling. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, it's not. I forgot these hoods. Oh, snap. Check that out. This just bumped it up to a solid 8. Look at that engine detail. That's something right there that you do not get with Kyosho. And that is sick. And I have to tell you something. As somebody who extensively collected import detailed diecast, finding 1:64 scale Skylines with opening hoods is very, 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 very hard to do. There are not a lot of them out there. And it closes. Look how nice the joints are on that thing. That is awesome. Yeah, definitely an 8 out of 10. So the tooling on this is the same, but the tooling on the hood is different. It's a different hood tooling. Let's see how this looks. Well, hold on. We have a little wardrobe malfunction on the car. Little tire coming off the wheel here. So we will get that fixed and... Okay. Definitely rolls better than it did. There's still a little bit of a wobble on this one. There's no wobble at all on the champagne colored one. This one has a slight wobble. It's not bad. But here are these wheels here. These are black, and then the silver, you have the silver rotor behind it. A lot of, I mean, that's really good detail for this scale. That's a detail you don't get with a lot of brands. I know Tomica Limited Vintage does that. They get praised for it by collectors. So to see Greenlight put that kind of attention to the detail of the wheels is pretty nice. Same base on this one. Here's the hood. This one has the vented hood or whatever. So the champagne one is definitely a cleaner execution. This one, I just don't think the finish on this one is as good. I don't know what it is. If it's the axle, it's still a very nice looking car. It's got the same engine. That is just dope. Even the GTR casting does not have an opening hood. So I've been critical as a collector on the channel doing videos. I've been critical of the Greenlight GTR tooling just because, you know, as a collector, I have a Kyosho, I've got a Tomica Limited Vintage, and the Greenlight tooling is a distant third, and it might even be lower than that. You know, in a lot of ways, I think the Hot Wheels GTR is nicer than the Greenlight. It, you know, overall it's not, but I think there are things about it that are nicer. So I've been pretty critical of that. So I would give the GTR tooling probably a 6 out of 10, and you know, this one here I'd probably give a 6 or a 7 just because of there's something with the assembly that just doesn't seem right. But this one here is a solid 8. I mean, this thing is nice. It's a very, very clean looking car. There it is right next to the Kyosho. So you can see, you know, they did a very, very nice job on the car. One thing I will say about the Greenlight R34 is it's 100 times nicer than the Johnny Lightning. Johnny Lightning Skyline casting is awful. It's an awful tooling. It's very poorly executed. But at the time it came out, it was the only premium detailed Skyline of its kind. And so I get the popularity of it and the value of it. That all definitely makes sense to me. Yeah, there's some going on with this front axle on the blue one. Very, very cool though that they have opening hoods. The one thing that I don't like that I wish they would have done is lensed taillights. That's the only thing. They don't do it with the R35, but they don't really need to. They can get away with it just because of the design and the style of it. The taillight lenses are deeper into they set deeper into the back of the car. So you don't really need a lens in there. But with these, they're almost flush with the back of the car, so I think it would look a lot better to have lens taillights. They're putting lens taillights in the Ford Fusion and the Explorer. I don't understand why they can't do it in the Skyline. But as I said, overall, I'm very, very pleased with this casting. It did come out better than I thought. I was expecting it to be a 6 or a 7. And when it's nicely executed, and when like this one where you don't have any issues with the way the car is put together with the axles or anything like that, I give it a solid 8, and I might even go up to a 9 on this. But if I did that, then I'd have to give the Kyosho a perfect 10, which honestly, on this car here, I don't see any reason why this car shouldn't be a perfect 10, because there's nothing wrong with this car. Everything about it is brilliant. So anyways, back to the Greenlight Skyline. So the other cars that are coming out in the Tokyo Torque, you've got a 70 Bree Datsun 240Z, got a 71 Datsun 240Z, and a 73, it's a Bree Datsun Baja Z. And then you also have a 2014 Nissan GTR R35. So that is a set that I will be completing. So many new toolings coming from Greenlight. They got the Ford GT tooling coming out, the Mustang 2, the A-Team van, the Starsky and Hutch Torino. So there's a whole bunch of stuff to look forward to. And they also do have a Datsun Bluebird that is coming out, but that one is going to be later on. Like all these other castings or all these other toolings that I just mentioned are already in the works. They've already released sample photos and all that kind of stuff. With the Bluebird, it's just in the beginning stages. So it's probably going to be late spring that we see the Bluebird, maybe even summertime, depending on how the licensing goes. So there you go. I would definitely recommend all you collectors out there to pick up this R34. Whether you're a Greenlight collector or just a JDM collector or whatever the case is, I would definitely recommend picking it up. To me, as a collector, this right here is what separates Greenlight from all the other brands for me. This is why I think Greenlight is a better brand than Auto World. Because you're not going to get anything like this from Auto World. And honestly, if you look at this tooling, the quality on this thing is probably pretty close to what you would expect from an Auto World. So, you know, I do agree that Auto World makes the best cars as far as domestic brands go, but I definitely think Greenlight is a better brand. No doubt about it. And hats off to Greenlight for going out and getting the licensing to make these cars. You know, what's surprising about Auto World not doing it is you would have thought for sure that round 2 would have gone out and gotten some JDM licensing for at least one of their brands, whether it's Johnny or Racing Champs or Auto World. You know, with M2 getting this licensing and Greenlight getting it, you know, how are you going to compete? There's such a huge market for it. I mean, it's a massive market for JDM diecast right now. And Auto World is... they're just not interested in getting involved, I guess. I don't know. I know that there are some JDM cars coming from Johnny Lightning. They've already done a couple of the Nissan Zs and the Datsun Z. And we have some Toyota Land Cruisers that are going to show up here at the end of the year in a month or so. Those are going to be killer, but, you know, that's a Toyota FJ. A Toyota truck is a different collector than a Skyline or a Bluebird. So anyways, that's the video. I just wanted to show these cars. I hope you guys like them. If you come across them, definitely pick them up. You will not be disappointed. These two cars both came from Hobby Lobby. So that's where these are showing up. So if you're lucky enough to find one, don't forget to use your 40% off. You can get the car for $5. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you for checking it out. You all have a good Friday night. Have a good weekend. And I will holler at the next video.